our Board of Appeals meeting for the City of Holland. Just a quick reminder that board members are regular citizens of Holland who have volunteered and have been appointed by council to consider applications for zoning, housing, construction, Board of Appeals, and for accommodations for persons with disabilities. And that we are here to interpret each application as it relates to city ordinances. We may not rezone or take any action that could be considered rezoning. All right. We have 4 members, and we have 4 members here present, and that is what it takes to require a quorum. So it takes 4 concurring votes to approve any applications. So for tonight, anything to be approved is going to have to be unanimous. When your application is called, we ask that you come to the microphone, state your name and address. We will hear the applicant first, then anyone supporting the application, followed by anyone opposing it. After we close the public hearing, there will be no other opportunity for further public comment related to that application. Decisions by the board are final and effective on this day, and applicants may appeal decisions to the circuit court in accordance with state law. If you want to stick around for our deliberation, you may, or you can call Community and Neighborhood Services tomorrow morning to learn the results. These meetings are streamed online live and recorded and are available to view on the city's YouTube channel. So, if we don't have any objections with our agenda as it is written, will our clerk read our first item, please?
Yes, so this is for address 377 West 22nd Street, application number 23.07H. Terry Brinks and Ryan Kreithoff are requesting a variance to allow 2 occupants in the east bedroom at 377 West 22nd Street. The bedroom is 95.80 square feet, where 100 square feet is required for 2 occupants. The Board of Appeals can approve this request if certain conditions are found to exist.
All right, thank you. And do we have somebody here to represent this application? I'll ask them, please. Name and address.
Name is Realtor Ryan Kreithoff. The address is 377 West 22nd.
Is that on? Is that microphone on? Just make sure the green light is lit. It just makes it better for recording these, for taking minutes and things of that nature. Well, the previous meeting here probably burned it out. We could blame them.
Yeah, why don't you just come over here and we'll let Rick.
All right, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate you accommodating our minor
I
technical
think you guys all
difficulty.
met tonight just for me, so great. Is that working?
That's working.
Okay. Name is Ryan Kreithoff. The address is 377 West 22nd Street.
All right. So if you could, just go over your application, go over the background, what's going on with this house, and
Sure. So just explain a little bit the story and what I'm asking for.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. No, Terry and I bought this house probably about 8 months ago. The gentleman, the residents, just kind of randomly passed away. We came in, the home was in dire repair. We spent the last 6 to 8 months repairing the property, putting approximately $50,000 into the property to bring it up to its current condition. We are currently taking applications to try to find a renter for the property. Currently, we are, I believe, 5 square feet short in the 1 bedroom to be able to have a 3rd occupant. Right now, we're approved for 2. So I'm currently taking applications. I would say the majority of the applicants have more than 2 occupants. I currently have somebody who wants to rent, and they're pregnant. So as they stand right now, they can stay in the property, but apparently once the kid's born, they no longer are meeting the requirement. So we have, let's see here, we've updated the property. There's no way to change anything with the room to be able to add the additional square footage. We actually cut into the closet a little bit to be able to accommodate the bathroom, to be able to put a toilet in the appropriate place. So there's no way that we can change anything square footage wise to accommodate. There's 2 windows in the bedroom that meet the square footage requirements. The windows are 45 by 23, which is 7.185 square feet. It looks like the minimum requirement is 5.7 square feet, so we meet that requirement for both windows. Both windows are on the main floor, which would be a fire. They could get out if there was a fire right onto the main floor. We have smoke detectors. We've got carbon dioxide detectors. So that's kind of the situation. Any other specific questions or?
I'll look to our board and see if they have any other questions.
Yeah, we'll have some more specific questions.
Yeah.
Mine would be, just my first one at least, the drawing that you provided to us shows like both bedrooms, but you mentioned a closet.
Yep.
Does the bedroom in question, does it have a closet within it?
It's a very, very small closet, yeah. So
Okay.
the closet, we actually cut in half to be able to accommodate the toilet in the bathroom. The toilet was literally like in the middle of the bathroom. You walked in, so we cut into the bedroom closet a little bit to push that bathroom back. Just made it more functional, more safe. But the closet's very, very small.
Okay.
If that answers your question, but. So, I mean, there's a housing shortage, there's a housing need, right? And I find that, the majority of the applicants have at least 3 people or more. Very few people, probably, I don't know, maybe less than 25% of the people, there's just 2 people. So in order to accompany the housing need that we have, allowing the variance will open up, allowing more people to be able to find housing in Holland.
And a quick question
Brad.
asking
Hey, Brad, how are you?
if physical space can be added. No way on the main, anything in the basement?
There's nothing that can be added. No.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Leo's been out to the property multiple times.
And are we correct that we have hardwired interconnected smoke detectors in each bedroom and on each floor?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned there was you've got somebody who's applying for the rental, and
Yep.
I'm guessing it's a couple, and she's pregnant.
Correct.
And if they were to, be chosen to live there, they would not be able to live there past the pregnancy, because then they'd be 3, and it'd exceed the current allowed occupancy of that rental space.
Correct.
If
Yep.
she were to have multiples with that pregnancy, she also would, or that family would also have, even if we approved a variance tonight, then it would be 4. So,
Yep. As I mentioned, I'm a realtor, been for
Right.
20 years. So the couple is selling their home.
Okay.
And they're moving from Allegan to Holland. They were Holland residents before. They love the area, want to move back. So I'll be assisting them in purchasing their next home, which their plan is to do in the next 12 months. So she's due in a couple months, and they're hoping to buy within the next year. So
Okay.
if they did happen to get pregnant, the plan would be able to assist them in finding another house if they did have another kid.
okay.
Yep. Move back.
Did we get that microphone working there?
I think so.
All right, there we go.
Okay, great.
Yep.
All right, any other questions from our board? Okay.
Oh,
Go ahead, Matt.
I was curious, do you have, you provided a drawing, roughly estimating the sizes of things.
Yeah.
Do you happen to have the blueprint from the original construction of the house?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think the home was built in the 60s. The owner who'd been there for 30 years, he passed away unexpectedly. So it wasn't like I bought it from him. It was a probate situation, so didn't have an opportunity to talk to the owner.
Okay. What year was the house built in?
I believe it was in the 60s.
In the 60s?
Yeah.
All right, any other questions?
I'll ask another question, if that's okay. So if we impose the variance, as stated, saying we need 100 square feet, that's the minimum requirement, would that impose a burden due to unforeseen circumstances?
I mean, I think it makes it more difficult to accommodate the housing need that we have in Holland, right? I think the majority of people, there's more than two, so I just think it makes it more difficult to accommodate those who are wanting to live in Holland.
But the specific property, though, is what I'm asking about. I'm not asking about the general, like Holland housing.
Yep.
This specific property, if we enforced the variance and did not grant
Sure.
your variance that you're asking for,
Yeah.
would that be an undue burden on this particular property due to unforeseen circumstances?
I mean, what do you mean by undue burden? What do you mean by that?
That's kind of what's open to interpretation a little bit, right? Undue burden would be something like we are not able to use the house for its permitted purpose because the variance imposed in the way that it is not allowing us to use the house. There can be other circumstances with other variances where it's like, okay, well, this is a weird property, this is a strange circumstance
Sure.
that the variance wasn't really addressing. It was addressing, the 99% of other
Yeah,
property
sure,
lots.
sure. Yeah, I mean, we just have to find two people. We can only let two people stay there, right? So, I mean, we still would be able to rent out the property. It's just that, there's less qualified people. But, I mean, that's what we would have to do if you didn't approve it, yes. So we were just hoping because it was only 5 square feet off that I could accommodate this couple that we've been talking to, so.
It's less than 5, right?
Yeah,
the number we
less than-
have
less
is
than
95.8, so
Correct.
it's
not a lot, yeah.
4.2.
Correct, right. Not asking for a lot, I don't think, but anyways. First time doing this, so appreciate your patience with me.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate you coming in and explaining it. Yeah, I think at this time what we'll do is we'll go through a public hearing. So I will open the public hearing, ask if anybody wants to come in and speak in support. Now is the opportunity. Or in opposition, now is that opportunity. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and look to the board to make a motion or further deliberation on this.
I have a question for the city. Just because I'm going off of, I didn't go into the home. Going off of the drawing that I see, I see the dimensions for the bedroom specified, but those both bedrooms don't show closets. Are the closets, the square footage, is that part of the overall bedroom total? So that are we looking at two, both bedrooms on the drawing that was shown were identically the same size, but then the application, sorry, not the application. The data on the property that you showed us, it was like 20 square feet less. So those closet space is not accounted for in the 100 square feet that is required. Is that correct?
When we do room measurements for occupancy, we do not count closets. We do not count any portion of the room that is less than 7 feet wide. So if there's a built-in closet with walls from floor to ceiling, that is not counted as part of the room measurement calculations.
Okay.
So if there was a closet in this room, it was not counted as part of the measurements that we took during the inspection.
Okay. So the 95.8 square feet does not include the closet space.
That's
Okay.
correct. And I don't think, even if the closet was removed, I don't think it would get the square footage needed to meet the ordinance requirements of 100 square feet.
Yeah, I was curious about that too. Yeah.
And just a quick question, since the housing variance is a little bit different than the zoning variance we usually deal with, I don't even know if the city's required to post notice to neighbors.
We
Really?
are.
Okay, so did no correspondence for or against?
No correspondence from any
Okay.
of the neighbors.
Is a closet required to be counted as a bedroom.
Closets are not required by the city of Holland to be considered a legal bedroom.
Okay,
Good question.
thank you. So removing the closet. A, doesn't give them the square footage necessary, and B, doesn't remove the classification of a bedroom either. So-
Correct.
Okay,
So really, if they wanted to, the applicants wanted to get this to exactly the 100 square feet that would be required, they'd have to like knock down walls. They'd have to go through into the living room, they'd have to relocate a wall, they'd have to relocate, well, probably by the sound of things, the bathroom doesn't have any space to spare, even if they went through the closet to get there, I think.
That's my
Yes, I have.
understanding based on information from the applicant.
So I wonder if my fellow board members would say that having to remove a wall and push it back, maybe, let's see, 6 to 8 inches, I'm not sure exactly how, I mean, they don't have a dimension there, but that wall adjacent to the living room, to get to exactly 100 feet, you know, I feel like that's kind of extreme for
I agree.
4.2 feet.
I think that's unreasonable.
right.
And we talked earlier about rental versus ownership, so if the applicant was married and they were expecting a child, this issue would not come up because the house wouldn't get inspected like it would for a rental.
So the same rules apply to rental properties and owner-occupied properties. The difference is that we do inspections on rental properties. So if the current owners didn't get the variance and the occupant load was a maximum of 2 people for the house, if they were to sell the house, they would be required to disclose that information, and anyone living there in the future should be notified that the occupant limit is a maximum of 2 people.
Right, but they could choose to ignore that if they had a baby, and it wouldn't be inspected for rental if they owned it.
We do not inspect owner-occupied properties.
It's a funny area.
And they would be required to notify, but does not mean that the buyer would be scared away or.
Kind of like wearing your seatbelt when you get in the car. If you get pulled over by the police, you're probably gonna get in trouble, but if you don't get pulled over, probably no one will know.
Right.
So same thing, if there's a fire in the house and people can't get out and there are unfortunate deaths, then we'll know that there was a violation.
Right.
But yes, unless somebody was there to specifically check, no one is gonna know.
So did the applicant know? Was this disclosed to the applicant that only 2?
Based on the testimony given by the applicant, because the public hearing is closed, based on the information given by the applicant, my guess is that they did not realize that the occupant limit was 2 when they purchased the house, because they got it out of probate and didn't buy it in a traditional sale.
I see.
All right, I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve with conditions.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion, we have support. You want to go through your conditions and findings of fact?
Sure. I have a motion to approve and findings of fact. First question was, does the occupancy requirement of 1 person in this particular room, which is 4.2 feet short of the requirement to have 2 people, impose an undue burden due to unforeseen circumstances? And I believe that yes, it does. It could potentially cause undue burden if relationships or family structures change, in this case during a lease period. And then will the health, welfare, and safety of occupants of this property be compromised if the variance is granted? I do not think it will. This is a very minimal difference from the requirement of 100 square feet. The conditions are that the total occupancy of the home shall not exceed 3 people at any time, and that if the home is modified in any way in the future by an addition or expansion, that this particular bedroom shall also be modified at that time to meet the minimum room size required by code. and that the currently hardwired and interconnected smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detector in the home should be maintained as installed.
I have a question about the second one. I like the first and the third. So when you say by addition or expansion, does that mean that if they start finishing a room in the basement, that they then have to go upstairs and?
I suppose my intent is that if they are adding livable square footage to the structure, that they then have to make this room right and get up to that 100.
Okay.
Sounds pretty clear. All right. Then we'll go for a roll call vote, please.
All right, so the motion is to approve with the stated conditions. Fusak,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Sorek.
Yes.
Motion to approve passes.
All right. Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is the approval of the regular meeting minutes from May 25th, 2023. I don't think I can make a motion to approve them because I wasn't there. As has been made clear.
Motion to
Did you
approve.
read them?
Huh?
Did you read them?
Uh-oh. Was there a hidden joke in there somewhere?
No, just an honest question. Because I think if you read the minutes, then you can vote on them, but if you did not read them, then I
Yes,
think you
I
need to
read them.
abstain.
Yes, I read them.
I make a motion to approve
Hoping
the
that
minutes.
there wasn't like, did you read the hidden message in there? Sorry, it's the way you asked it. Yes, I read them. So,
Did I hear a motion
I
from
didn't
Brad?
hear, motion? Okay.
Oh, I'll support then.
All right, so we have motion support. All in favor of approving the meeting minutes as drafted, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the meeting minutes are approved. Thank you. Now we have the election of officers that would take effect. These would serve from July 1. Is that correct? Something, or
It's after July 1, so
after July 1, or
beginning at the August meeting.
August meeting? Okay. All right, yes, it is after July 1. Sorry, summer's going fast. So next, officers, so we're looking for election of officers for a chair and vice chair, and looking for nominations. I'll open the floor for nominations and start off with a nomination for a chair for Mr. Brad Fusak, if he'll accept.
Works.
Do you accept the nomination?
I will accept the nomination.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other nominations for chair? Okay,
All right, then I think we take a vote on the current nomination for chair of Mr. Brad Fusak. All in favor of Chair Fusak in the future, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and now we'll be looking for nominations for vice chair. Then the floor is open for nominations now.
I will nominate David for a second round as vice chair, if he will accept.
Okay.
All right. Any other nominations? Then we will, all in favor of David as our vice chair, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We,
That works out good because then I don't have to find a new seat.
so remember that, Mallory.
and Brad, you won't have to find a seat next time either. It'll just be right here in the middle. You ready? There you got him. All right, and our, thank you, and it's been an honor, I appreciate being chair. I look forward to continuing to serve on this board. But I've been chair for, I don't know, a couple, 3 years, something like that. So,
Yeah,
time to
a while.
hand off the reins to somebody else, so.
Sure.
All right, our next meeting date is, August 24th, and I'm looking for one more motion.
You said we have something.
I don't have anything yet.
Oh, okay.
Nothing yet,
Nothing yet.
okay.
Okay, I make a meeting to adjourn with the condition that we thank Dan for his service to the board.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Do I have support?
Support.
All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned, thank you.